Hey, is this thing on? Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am surprising you all with a midweek video this week because this is my most highly requested video. Everyone always wants to know, like, what is my press on, glue on nail routine? So that's what I'm going to be showing you all today. It is a super simple process and the nails last for about 2 weeks, which is how often I would go to get a manicure at the nail shop. But the time that I would spend and honestly the quality of how my nails looked when I left and the price that I would pay just were not worth it at the end of the day. And so I stopped going to the nail shop, started like really learning how to do my press-ons really well. And that's what I do now. So here's where we're at currently. You can see one is missing, sad day. Normally for 2 weeks, none of them come off. And this one didn't even pop off. I actually took it off because it was starting to lift. And a lifting nail is very painful, like if you bend it on anything. So I was like, before those problems even pop up, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm trying to do some more midweek videos that are just focused on fun topics and self-care and beauty and lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. And then on Sunday, of course, you will still be receiving your weekly dose of self-improvement. So let's get started. First things first, I just have this bowl here. This has warm, actually pretty hot water in it. And then I just added this product from Fenty Skin. This is the Hydro Reset. It's an intensive recovery hand mask. Love that for me. One important thing to note is you cannot get your nails wet for about an hour after you put on your press-on. So washing dishes, going to the restroom, having to wash my hands, all of that, do that before you start your nails. So I'm also going to be adding this Mineral Fusion nail remover. This is a more natural nail polish remover, and it's acetone free, so I definitely like to use that on my nails. And then I'm going to also be using this glue off. This is by, I think this is Sally Hansen. I'll have to double check. And then also this is from Static Nails. It's their non-toxic nail remover. So first I am going to just use this tool to cut off the excess of the fake nails that I already have on. I just cut up to where my natural nail is. And I try to keep my natural nails a little bit shorter, but also just not too short because, like, if a nail does come off, I don't want to be looking too crazy. So I try to keep them a little bit long. And so my setup here, I'm just using a TV tray. Usually I will watch something like just simple TV, like the Home Edit or something while I do this, or watch other YouTube videos. And I just have this towel that's like just cut up. It was a large towel. I cut it into 3 or 4 sections, so that's what I use for my nails, and then I just put a paper towel set down on top of it. So I'm gonna go over what you need for each step throughout the process as I get into each step. So this is the removal process. You do need a bowl with water, warm water, hot water, some type of oil. You can use olive oil, grapeseed oil. I just like to use that Fenty Skin product. And then also something that's gonna really like get under those nails, which is why I like to use my glue off and also my static nail remover. So I'm gonna put some of the static remover in the water because that oily texture really helps remove them. And then I'm also going to put some static remover on the part that starts to lift up because I want these to be able to be taken off pretty easily. All right, so now we soak. And I like to just kind of use my fingers to get everything mixed in and start the soaking process. So typically I can soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it just depends. If I had nails that had a lot of glue on them, then it may take a little bit longer. But once you finish soaking, then you're able to just pop everything off. So after they've soaked for a while, you can see like they're lifting. So I just take my little cuticle tool and put it underneath, and then it usually just pulls right off. So it is a pretty easy removal process, and you don't have to worry about damaging your nails while you're doing it.
I couldn't believe it. Well, relax, Miss Teenager. I'm being patient, but now I'm really falling, frozen, slowly falling. Tell me right, I won't keep you waiting. My back is waiting, my eyes are sleeping, won't let them stray too far. I wanna love me, but why will you love me? Oh, from all of my pretty and all of my money too. I like to see me from your point of view. I wanna trust me, the way that you trust me. Yeah, 'cause nobody ever loved me.
All right, so I finished taking everything off. So now I'm just gonna fold my paper towel over, get a new clean side. So here's what my natural nails look like. You can see they are not damaged at all. I know some people say like, oh, leave like a rough surface. I like to get them kind of smooth, so I use a pretty coarse file. This is the one that I like to use, and it works really, really well. I file on top, and then I just file a little bit around to smooth out the edges. So after this step, you're gonna need to use an alcohol prep pad. So I just use that to dry out my nails. It will leave a few fuzzies behind, so just try to go and get all of those off. Okay, so next up, we are gonna get into which types of nails I like to use and the glue. These are the most important things that I feel make my manicure last. So I like the Kiss brand. I always grab them from Ulta. This is their Gel Fantasy line. I have not used this one before, but I loved the white color. I am about to go on a trip, and I just got my toes done white, so I figured I would want to do a white nail to match it as well. I feel like white is just fresh, and it like screams vacation. These are a little long, so I'll be showing you how I cut them to a length that I prefer as well. And then I have a few of my other favorites here. I always like to just grab them from Ulta, and you can use the coupon on them as well. I forgot I also popped this in the bag. A cuticle oil, we're gonna use that at the end. So this one is my go-to. I love these nails, and I recommend them to pretty much everyone. They're so good. This is the set that I had on before that I was saying they lasted for 2 weeks, and they have been through a lot and still looked pretty good. So definitely really love those. I am just into more of like a simple classic nail these days, so that's typically what I look for. I also grabbed a couple of these. This is the Bare But Better. Love this one. And whenever I would go to the nail shop, I'd be like, I want nude. And they would say, what kind of nude? And I would look at all of these different nudes, and I could never find this color, like this sheer nude look. I absolutely love it. And it's perfect because they come in press-ons. So I am very pleased with these items. There's also another one. It's like part of their Luxe collection that I like. I'll try to make sure that I link all of the options below for you guys. Those are so cute as well. The only thing is they have like a paint or like a film on them that can easily peel off, but like these two go-tos, like OG, never give me any troubles. So I'm hoping that these are just as good because I'm trying them while I'm going on vacation. So it's a little risky, but I feel like it's gonna be fine. Now, with the nail being important, the second most important part is the glue. So I use the Glamnetic brush on glue. Yes, it does have to be the brush on. The one that you squeeze from the little tube is not as good, and it does come with the Glamnetic nails, the little tube one. So I'll typically keep that one in my purse just in case my nail lifted, but it pretty much never happens because this brush on stuff is so good. So I'll show you guys the technique that I use to get those on really nicely. And then I have a second nail glue, but this is not to stick the nails on. The purpose of this one is to make sure that they are strong and they don't bend. So I use that with this dip build powder from Nail Boo. I tried the whole dip system from Nail Boo and my nails looked so bad, but I'm glad that I got this out of that kit because it's a clear translucent dip powder that just makes them stronger. So I'll show you guys how I use these two to make sure that my nails never have any of that bending or cracking going on. And then of course I'm still going to be using my cuticle pusher. If I notice that like something needs to be pushed back, then I just use this to gently push back my cuticles very slowly and very carefully. And then once I'm finished, I got these. They're in like such good like scents, and they're like different flavors. There was a 6-pack from Amazon. Pretty much all of my purses, all of my bags by my bedside in my office, there is a cuticle oil stick. Like this is an important part of making sure that your nails and your manicure always looks good. Also, like when I used to go to a nail shop, I felt like my cuticles would look so gross after a couple of weeks that I would need to go get them done. But it's because they were cutting them or they were using the machine to like file them down, and that was not helping my nails actually, or my cuticles actually be healthy. It was just cutting them for the meantime to make them look good, but also they're gonna grow back all wonky and crazy looking. So this is such a better option, and I feel like my nails, my cuticles are just so much healthier. So I'm gonna show you guys how I put everything on, and we're gonna go from this to full glam with my white nails. So now let's get into the pack. So I just open it up, and first I match up to find the perfect fit for each of my nails. So you see it always comes with a little glue. Just pop this in your purse just in case you ever need it. It's nice to have as an option. So your nails, it's a little blown out, there we go, are gonna look like this. And then underneath, there are more, and there's also another great like little file and cuticle pusher that you can use as well. Again, I like to just keep those things for travel. So I just dump them all out first, and then I find the perfect fit to match up with my nails. So I just pick them up like this. So like this one would be too big. You don't want it to be overlapping because it's so easy for like water and dirt and things to get under there. And you want to be as sanitary as possible when using press-on nails. You don't want anything to be under there. So smaller, like a little bit smaller is always better than a little bit bigger. So like this is a perfect fit, but it does feel a little tight, which I feel like might pop up. So I just bend it slightly to where it's a more comfortable fit. So then I lay that out in order, and I just go through and do the same thing for the rest of my nails. You'll kind of get a feel, especially if you use the same set all the time, like you'll easily be able to just look at it and put the perfect nail on. All right, so now that I've got them all laid out, I just put the remainder back. Sometimes I do nails for my friends, and so like they'll use the other nails that weren't a good match for me, or like I'll do a mixed set if I want to have like kind of a design going on. So I'll just use the nails that are left over that fit me, and then mix that with a different set of nails. So you have a few options. It's such a cost-effective option, but also your nails are gonna look really nice. So now I'm gonna get into how I actually apply them using the Glamnetic glue. So we're gonna get into a few final steps before application. I just like to check that everything looks nice. If there are any like cuticles or leftover pieces of glue or anything like that, I just go through and pick it off with my little cuticle tool. All right, so now we are ready to apply the nails. So I'm just gonna go again with an alcohol prep pad. Make sure everything is nice and dry. So that's what you're gonna want to really get that good base for your nails to stick. All right, so now I'm gonna go in my Glamnetic glue. I'm gonna try to zoom you guys in so you can see the actual nail application. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So I'm gonna just open my glue, and I put a little bit of glue on the actual nail. Now when I'm putting it on the nail bed, my nail bed, I focus on the top here, the part that would typically lift, and make sure that I've got it mostly covered. Then I pick up the nail, and inside the nail, I'm gonna add more glue to cover the full size of my nail bed. So I always feel like extra is better than not enough because we can always wipe off the excess. So you can see there inside, let me focus that for you. There we go. So you can see here where the glue is. Now I'm just going to press it on. And you want to hold it for about 10 seconds. So I just do an initial press first to make sure it's nice and even and lined up well. You can see there's some glue spilling out on the side. Don't worry about that. Then I change the position of how I'm pressing, and I'm going to press down on the top here to make sure that it's really sealed through the middle. Now anything that has spilled over, I just use my little alcohol pad and wipe off the excess glue, trying not to get it on the nail so you can't see that it's spilled over. And that's where we're at. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 more nails on this hand, and then I'm gonna switch to the other side because it's a little bit easier to not have a full hand done when you're working on the other one.
I'm getting used to receiving, still getting good at not leaving. All about you, even though I'm scared. Learning to be grateful for myself. On my lips, 'cause they say that things we've always been afraid of. I can feel the starting to subside. Learning to believe in what is mine. I wanna love you.
Alright, so now I've got 3 nails on, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side. I like to kind of have a thumb available throughout this process that doesn't have a long nail on it, so I'm going to start with my pinky nail on my right hand. Now, of course, it's going to be tricky because I am not left-handed, so I always feel like my right hand doesn't look as good because it's harder to work with the nail that's like, or the hand that's not your dominant hand, but it honestly works out pretty well. So here's another one. I got a little bit of glue spilled over, so just wiping that off with my alcohol pad, and we're gonna put on oil at the end as well, which also helps with any glue or dry spots that came from the process. And you want to place them pretty close to where your cuticle starts. Focus, be nice to me. Okay, there you go. So you want to place them where your cuticle starts, so it really looks like these are your nails growing out of your fingers, but not too much into the cuticle and also not too far away where it looks like you have that gapping. Okay, so here's an example. This one did not stick. So that could mean that either the size is wrong or that I don't have enough glue. So I'm going to double check the size again. I feel like it's good. So then I'm going to add more glue, because really after the 10 seconds, it should fully stick. So just add some more glue. There's already glue on my nail still. And press that one on again. It is a little bit easier when you have nails that have more of a clear or sheer look because you can see the glue spreading underneath. But if you have one that's going to be colored like these that are fully white, I can't see how the glue is spreading. You really want to add more as opposed to less. All right, so now that one stuck. I am gonna feel it out though, like if it feels too loose, I may end up changing the size of the nail, and you'll definitely be able to feel when it doesn't seem like a nail is quite on as good as it could be. Make sure you get the sides as well, those edges, because the perimeter is really where false nails tend to show and start popping up. Got a little bit of spillage. I'm gonna open up a new alcohol wipe. You can never have too many of these on hand throughout this process. All right, so I've got 3 here and 3 here, opposites. So I'm gonna go back to my left hand now and finish that one up. So you can see it starts to get tricky once you've got all the nails on, especially if they are longer. You do have the option to cut them as you go as well, but I like to do full application, give them time to dry before I start cutting and messing with them. You're also going to want to try to put them on as straight as possible, but remember, your nails can look natural and your natural nails aren't always exactly straight, so it is okay if they are not perfect. If your fingers start sticking together, just like do a quick rub to quickly dry out any glue that is sticking. Now the last 2 are typically the most difficult just because your hands are full of these long nails, but it can still be done. So remember, just fill in especially that space around the edges and directly out of your nail bed. And I like to switch the pressure just to make sure that every piece is being covered. You can even gently roll your finger like this to make sure that glue is being spread to the edges. And we are now to the last one. Thumbs are obviously the biggest, so I use the most glue on those to really make sure that they are not going to go anywhere. And just a few tips for when you're first starting out. You'll probably want to keep a little glue and some extra nails in your bag in case a nail pops off. But at this point, I never even bring another set of nails or extra nails with me because I'm pretty confident that my sets are going to last. Really, really, really press that thumb on, especially on your dominant hand. Like, make sure that those nails are stuck on there so that they don't come off throughout daily activity. All right, so we are all done. This is what the nails look like straight out the pack, which honestly is pretty cute. But we are gonna do a few little changes. So first things first, I love a long nail, but these are too long. So I'm gonna use the same clipper that I used to cut my old set off to cut these to a length that I like. And I would always suggest cut longer rather than shorter because you can always cut them more or file them. Whereas if you cut too short, then that's kind of that. You got to rock with it at least for the next week or so. Okay, so then take a look so you can see the difference between the length I think I might cut this down just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good. And try to make your other hand match. I mean, oh, that one went flying, as much as possible. But it does not have to be perfect, again, because how often are you like literally side by side with your hands? And try to cut them straight, but we're gonna file as well. So if they're not straight, it is okay. All right, so just look at them, make sure there's no like major differences. So here we are after cutting them. Now I'm going to go in with a file and just shape them. I think I'm gonna go coffin shape on these. So I'm gonna file them down. That's why you really need a good coarse nail file.
I'm pretty, and all of my body too. I love to see me from your point of view. I wanna trust me. Knowing that you trust me. Oh, 'cause nobody ever loved me like you do. I love to see me from your point of view.
All right, so just dust them off so you can see the comparison here between the ones that have been filed to shape and the ones that have not been filed to shape yet. So I'm going to do my other hand now. Okay, so here we are so far. Now I'm just gonna take a look at them and make sure that I like the shape on all of them. And if the shape is a little bit off, just file to make some adjustments. All right, so now we're gonna get into the part that really makes these strong so they're not bending and cracking throughout your couple of weeks of wear. Now I feel like this is one of the biggest difference makers. So I'm gonna take that build powder and the other glue. So this glue is not Glamnetic. This is just an Amazon brand. Or well, it's a brand that I got on Amazon. It is called Nail Bond NYK1 Professionals. It's also a really good glue, but it's antifungal and water resistant. So you just want to make sure that whatever you're using on your nails is really going to protect them, because press-ons can definitely get infected and you do not want to have those problems. So the way that I apply this is first on the underneath of my nails, and then I am going to dip it in the build powder. Tap off the excess, and I mean they're white and the powder is translucent, so you cannot even tell the difference. So I'm just going to go through, pick off any remaining excess nail. That's why it's so important to file before you do this part, because this makes your nails really, really strong, and you don't want to have to file that because they're already hard enough to file as it is. Sorry, I couldn't see that. So I'm just dipping all of them, and that's just gonna set. I mean, it takes about 10 to 15 seconds to dry. And that's that. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Try not to add too much glue because you don't wanna have like this chunky layer, but you do want to have enough to really make your nails strong. Y'all know, fake nails, regardless of the brand, can easily bend. So this just gives you that extra security. I do a couple of dips, quick ones, and tap off the excess. All right, so make sure everything is screwed on really nice and tight, and I'm gonna zoom you guys back out for the final step. Okay, hello again. So last thing is I just take my little alcohol pad, wipe everything off on the top, making sure that there's no extra dust and things, because remember, you can't wash your hands for about an hour. So you want to just wipe that off, use your towel, whatever you need to kind of get all that dust to a good place where you feel comfortable for the next hour or so. And then you're going to take your cuticle stick, like all of the oil. You want to have a lot of it on your fingers. So I fully brush my nail beds. I mean, your nails have been through quite the journey, so you want to make sure that they are nice and moisturized and saturated after the fact. You'll see that? Okay, just doing the same thing on the other side. And remember, just keep one of these in your purse, keep one at your desk or by your bedside. You want to apply pretty much every day to make sure that your cuticles are cute. So then just rub that in. You can also put on lotion. Actually, I think I have some lotion here. So after that, the oil is still kind of like all over your nails. Yes, so just grab a little lotion and make sure that your hands are nice and moisturized. Spread all the oil and that good moisture around, especially in these cooler temps. Like, I have dry skin, so I really like to make sure that I stay nice and moisturized. So of course, the oil and the lotion can kind of make your nails look a little dull. So just take the towel and wipe off the actual nail to restore that shine. All right, and that's that. The nails are done. I think they're super cute. So thank you guys for tuning into my midweek video. I'm gonna try to make more of these that are just like fun lifestyle things. And then of course on Sundays, tune in for your weekly dose of self-improvement. But this was highly requested. So I hope that my nail press-on, glue-on routine is gonna be something that's helpful for you. You can do it at home. Like, I save so much money by not going to the nail shop, and I'm also in control of the cleanliness and the entire process, how I want my nails to look. I also used to get like cut kind of often at the nail shop, like even with the file, they would file really rough, and just not having to deal with all that stuff has been really, really nice. Plus, like, it's just fun to be able to do it on my own. It's relaxing. It doesn't take that long. Just like watch a show, talk to someone while you're doing it. Like, it's a good time to catch up with friends on FaceTime and things like that, and just do your own nails. And these can last up to 2 weeks and still look really good. Well, pretty good, as you saw from my last set, depending on what you do. But I wash dishes, I clean my house, I submerge my hands in water, I do my hair, I do my makeup and everything, and my nails still do look really, really good. I will say, with white and with the build powder, especially if you use like a beauty sponge, you are going to be able to see makeup under there. So just try to wash your hands immediately after doing your makeup to keep your nails looking as clean as possible. But that is my nail routine. Again, thank you for watching, and I will be linking all the products that I use below and sharing some tips as well in the description box so that you can easily refer back to this when you want to do your own set at home. Thanks again. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Affirmations with Amber.